First things first, mic check. Excellent. Alright. Headphones off. I've been watching Fountain Pen ASMR videos for the past hour. Good day, pen friends. Things are already looking cluttered. I've got a bit to go over today. A lot of these are cartridge pens that I'm just going to be taking apart and dunking in a glass of water. But they're things that need to be done, and I've been slacking. I have so much on the back burner right now. We're going to be finishing Yukon Hijack and Torapaga's pens tonight. Yukon's vac filler is still in the world's ugliest jig. Can take that out. And I just wanted to take one last look at the weld. I'm pretty satisfied. Oops. Come back here. I'm pretty satisfied with how the welds went. That one is all melted up. Looks like a nice solid weld. Just take another look at this one. Also solid. Now this one still has some sheening ink on the rear end of it. Nah, doesn't matter. It'll get cleaned off. I'm just gonna grab a McDonald's napkin. Oops, there you go, bumping things again. Dip it in the water. Give it a quick wipe. Forgot to do this earlier. There we go. I also got all my supplies in. I have some silicone sacks, I have more latex sacks, I have everything I need to do Sheaffer snorkel pens as well. Got some new supplies for Sheaffer plunger fillers, so the vac fill pens, touchdowns. That should just about do it. Just heard a car door slam. Who's there? It's my neighbor getting home. He's been out all day. So, I think this is just about dry. Just about clean. So I think we can put that there. Move that up there so I don't get them mixed up. Throw away a wet napkin. Now my Esterbrook pastel that I was working on, I removed the J-bar and it was pretty damn rusty. So I have some of this WD-40 rust remover here that I had it soaking in for a couple of days, and now it is just squeaky clean. Not a speck of rust on it. Scrubbed it with some steel wool, very fine steel wool. I've had it out for a couple days, so it should be all dry. I'm just going to drop it in here until further notice. So the name of the game today is mostly reassembly. I need to put a few sacks inside of a few pens. Need to put together the vac fillers, and then I can take a poke at these fellas. There's quite a few of them. I believe the Junior is ready for resacking. All the rest I haven't really touched much. This Parker 45 set I got from Mr. 8-Ball. Howdy! Glad you could join us. this Skyline I'm very excited about because it has a very special nib. It is a flexible nib. Let's just zoom on in so you can see that. And readjust focus. Not even pressing hard. But first things first, I want to get these vac fillers back together. They're the simplest. I think I will start with Mr. Yukon Hijack. He did send me his pen first. I put Tarapaga's stuff up in the corner here. This pen is squeaky clean. It has a nice solid weld. Now, I need to root through here. Here's the gaskets I'm looking for. I got new supplies in from Independence, as well as Anderson pens and pen tooling. I believe I need a small gasket for this pen. It doesn't seem to be oversized. Let's see if it fits. Yeah, it's about right. So, what else am I gonna need? I'm gonna need shellac. I'm gonna need silicone grease. I'm gonna need thread sealant. Don't need talc for this one. It's no latex. Now then, first things first, I want to put the nib unit back together. It's a fairly simple task. It's just lining up the feed that can be annoying. It's a lot of trial and error involved. Once we have this bad boy in place, we can think about screwing it back into the pen. Helps to have some sort of a grippy pad to hold the nib collar as you're turning. Also helps to have another one to hold the nib. Sorry, I'm not doing this in front of the camera right now. It's a lot easier to hold it right in front of my face. But I'll get it. Let's just a matter of doing a little rotation. Screw it back on. Right now it's very close. I think I just need to do a little bit more adjustment here. I'll have it bang on. Yeah, once I screw down the nib all the way, the feed is just barely off center, and that's not good enough for me. It's not good enough for my customers. Thrilling footage, I know. A little bit more. Just a little bit more. Let's see. See if I can see the slit. Yeah. Oh, it's so close. The perfectionist in me is screaming, actually. Get my loop out. So close. Ah, so close. Haha! Bang on. Oh yes. Oh yes. Check it out. This is a properly centered feed. And a nice, clear, clean nib collar. Look at that nib. Just a quick touch up with a jeweler's cloth. It'll be right as rain. Where's my jeweler's cloth at? I don't see it. Of course, I have such a mess up here. I've been so discombobulated this entire past week. Where is it? Where is it? I know it's around here somewhere. There I am, bumping the mic again, bumping the camera. You know what? Here it is. As soon as I decide to pull a fresh one out, I find it. So I'm just gonna give it a quick little polish. Not too much, because I don't want to strip any of the platinum plating. I don't want to wear away the engraving. I'm just giving it a quick touch-up. And it already looks much, much better. That's all I'm gonna do. That was what, 10 seconds? Don't want to over polish anything. Now then. Now then. I already have the old packing materials inside. Now which end went with the wine cap? I want to say, yeah, it was this one. That means we put the gasket together on this end. Almost. Now it's snug. So we got the stopper on there. Now I'm going to put the gasket washer onto the plunger rod. And before I put the nut on, I want to put a tiny little dab of shellac onto it, just to help hold things in place. Just a tiny little dab. It's not going to interfere if this ever needs to be disassembled, because it's such a minute amount of shellac, but it will keep it from randomly unthreading, which I've never heard of, but has always been a fear of mine. Now, I like using these section pliers to squeeze rods and keep them from turning as I screw things on. And that is nice and tight. Just gonna grab it with the gripper, go a little bit further, just to be sure. And just like that, we have a completed plunger rod. Now I'm gonna screw on the cap of my shellac bottle before a disaster happens. And it's time to think about toothpicks. I find toothpicks to be very, very useful, very helpful, a disposable solution to the application of silicone grease. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna start here, collect a little bit, and poke it in through the hole. Just do this a little bit at a time. You'll have less wastage that way. We want this to be nice and packed with silicone grease. It'll help make a better seal when we shove the plunger rod in from the other direction. I find about 5 dabs to be sufficient. Next, let me grab my feeding rod. There's a little bit of melted plastic in there that I'm going to get rid of real quick. we go. I like to use this thing for two purposes. One, to guide plunger rods into barrels. Two, to keep plunger rod holes at the end of the barrel clear when I'm solvent welding, because it's the perfect fit. So, we are going to lube this thing up. It's a nice thick wad of silicone grease, maybe not that much. And poke it in, twisting, and giving it a little wiggle as we go. There we go. Oh no. There goes the seal. I'm gonna have to reseal that one. The seal actually failed. Here's our polystyrene closure washer, which means that the rubber O-ring is actually still in place. Let's see if we can pick that out. See what the reason for this failure is. I should have gone in through the front first. Oh well, I can always just reseal it. It's a good thing that it failed now and not when this pen is in the hands of the customer, because it's something that does happen occasionally. Alright, I think I poked it enough. See if I can pick it out of there. Need a different grippy. How about that one? Well, unfortunately, I won't be getting this pen done tonight. I'll give it a thorough degreasing to get rid of the silicone grease and re-weld it. And O-rings in there pretty good. I mean, I believe what happened. Yeah. I wonder, why would that have failed like that? It must have caught on the edge. It wasn't a centered fit. Man, O-ring's in there pretty good though, I gotta say. That silicone grease is perfectly lubing it up. There we go. She's coming now. Oops, and I've dropped it. Luckily, I have around 100 more. Dropped my pick. It's going to be one of those days. There we go. So, I don't really see anything wrong with this one, but I'm still not going to use it again. I'm just curious why that would have popped out. The only thing I can think is it was off center. So, unfortunately, I will be setting this aside for cleaning. The rest of the parts can go back in the bag. Which bag was it? Where did I put the bag now? Oh no. Here it is. Well, at least I succeeded in getting the nib unit back together. Gotta look on the bright side. I'll leave the plunger rod out to let that shellac cure. Well, since that one was a failure, let's see if this seal's any good. Move these up here out of our way. And dump these parts out. Alright. Just as before, this is a loose nut design, floating nut. So, just got to figure out which end this goes on to. It's the other one. Which means I can screw this into here. Put the stopper on. Now this one, I wonder if a regular sized gasket is the one that I need. I think I need to upsize it. I'll grab a larger one. Is this the correct size? I'm going to say no. Yeah, it is regular size. Okay. Must just be thicker barrel walls. Alright. Shellac. Same as the marine green vac filler. I am going to use shellac to fix the nut in place, just in case. Just put a nice little bead of shellac on there. Screw the nut down. Just like that. Now we can think about how this is going to go. Silicone grease. A bit messier this time. I'm going to do something a little bit different this time. I'm going to shove this in through the front. Hopefully it'll lube up the O-ring before I shove it in through the back. Just like that. Yeah, that went much easier this time. I'm just gonna have to do that from now on. Wipe this excess off. Yep, that is a good seal. It is all lubed up. It's very smooth travel. So we can think about now lubing this end of the plunger rod and shoving it through. Now, the end of this rod on the dowel is domed, which makes it very simple to put the plunger rod through the hole in one go. So I've got it started there. I'm going to give this thing a quick wipe, get rid of any silicone grease that's still on it, and I'll use the same domed end to capture the end of the nut, push it the rest of the way. Just like that. Now I can wipe the grease from there. It's a good seal. Poke it back through. Ah, hell. Now what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to do the same thing I did, but without the step that I forgot. I'll take some silicone grease and grease up the edge of the gasket just to make travel a little bit smoother, make it seal a little bit better. I'm going to put some on the back side of the plunger gasket as well. Just like that. Now then, oh, much easier. Listen to that. That is a good seal. Let's see. Spring back. Oh, yes. See if I can get the rest of the silicone grease off of the threading there. Now we can replace this nut and do I want to use thread sealant? I think I do. For this purpose, I feel Schaefer Formula thread sealant is superior to shellac because it releases a lot easier when heated And this nut can be a pain in the ass. So, for the sake of future maintenance 40 years from now, when someone has to replace this seal, I will whip out the heat gun and start softening the sealant. It's very, very sticky. Very sticky stuff. But it melts very quickly. Right now it is in liquid form. I'm just going to paint it onto the end. So we have a drop of thread sealant. And as I use the old heat gun, it's going to melt around it. Because it melts quickly, but it also solidifies quickly. Now I will screw the nut back in place. I suppose you could call this a stopper. Halfway through I'm going to melt it again, because it's already stiffening up. I'm going to bring the pen vertical as I do to help it flow down the threads. And continue screwing. Right till I hit the bottom. Again, holding it with the suction pliers. I'm going to heat one more time. And tighten that down. Then I can wipe away the excess sealant. Voila! That nut is going nowhere. The plunger is back in place. Makes a good seal. Listen to that. Well, unfortunately, the seal didn't quite take on Yukon Hijack's vac fill, so after I end the stream, I am going to clean this of silicone grease and weld it again. The weld on yours took very nicely. Listen to this. That is a proper vac fill. Very smooth, makes a very strong seal. Good kickback on the plunger. This thing's nice. This thing's really nice. Now I'm gonna put the blind cap back into place. Get it started. Grab my D-ring. Find the appropriate key to cinch that down. Oh yeah. It's not, unfortunately it won't sound like that with the nib on because the airflow won't be as great because there'll be a nib in the way. But man, when the nib's off, oh yeah, sounds great. With your nib on, it'll sound more like this. Much more muted. But for now, we can enjoy it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's good stuff. Oh, it's so smooth, too. God. Which one do I want? I think it's C. Let's find out. Cinch this bad boy down. Nope, it's not C. Is it B? Yeah, that one fits in there. Screw that blind cap back on. Man, I'm writing with it before you do. Oh, yeah. That's nice. Oh, it's relieving. God. Now. These things are always a little bit finicky on the blind caps. This one's not threading down all the way. But I can fix that pretty easily. Almost there. Let's grab that. Grab one of these. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take that back apart again. That's annoying. I suppose I better close my shellac before something embarrassing happens. I have already ruined one pair of jeans. Which one was it? B? C? B. It is a pity about the flea bites on the blind cap. Just gives it more character. I shouldn't have used thread sealant yet. I should have done a dry fit. Oh well. Life is full of regrets. Damn it. I'm just dropping everything tonight. I need, like, a net to catch shit that I drop. I wonder if this is totally set yet. Nope, I can still get it off. Okay. Here's my rag. Well, the thread sealant seems to have remained inside that little knob. Well, most of it. It's kind of convenient, to be honest. I'll put that there. Shove the plunger back through again. Since it is fairly coated in silicone grease, I'm just going to stick it in there. Now. Here's what I should have done. Hey, look, it doesn't want to go on all the way. Ouch. Yukon, I'm so sorry. The seal wasn't complete. When I put the plunger rod back in, my polystyrene washer just popped out, so I gotta solvent weld that one again. It happens. There's no way of knowing if it's a good seal until you try it. But this one went really well. So, just gonna grab some of these micro mesh pins and sand that smooth real quick. Because thanks to the methyl ethyl ketone, it left this thing, the end of it slightly domed. Man, your pen is terrible, it's bad, it's been causing me no end of distress. Oh, I can't work under these conditions. But yeah, it's slightly domed, which is why the blind cap doesn't want to work proper, so I'm just gonna lightly sand that down. That might do it. I'm just going to move up through the grits now. Get rid of the scratch marks. I'm not using a low grit micro mesh for this. Micro mesh will tear through celluloid. Looking good. Alright. So now that that's been done, let us looking pretty good. I don't see any gap. Blind cap fits. I'm going to shove the plunger rod back in. We'll tighten everything down and see how it goes. Oop. Should wipe off that silicone grease. There's a bit much on the nose. I'm going to replace the grease on the sides. There. In it goes. Yukon, yours has been what I would call challenging. I've had a lot of fun working on it. I'm going to pack a bit of silicone grease around here. Just smoothing that back out again. Your pen is unfortunately not on deck. I did it first because I wanted to get it all finished and write test it if you were able to join in. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to let methyl ethyl ketone cure overnight again. This one right here is a Schaefer 550, usually referred to as a quasi-imperial. It has the truncated short diamond nib, and it is a cartridge converter pen. These are a bunch of other pens that I want to work on tonight. There's a lot of cartridge pens in there that I'm just literally just gonna show off and drop into a glass of water. But I'm gonna try not to make you wait another week to get your pen back, man. It's already been 3 weeks. I feel bad that it's taken this long for both y'all's pens. Normally it doesn't. I'm gonna pop this out and pack it with a bit more grease. That doesn't feel right. Too much friction. A wise man once said to me, you can never use enough lube. You can never use too much lube. Oh, man. Are you going to the Dallas Pen Show? Wait, what day is it? No, today's only the 8th, isn't it? Pen Show's at the end of the month. I wanted to go to the Dallas show this year, but unfortunately I'm unable to. Going to the Ohio show, though, in early November. That's a lot smoother. Gotcha. Oh yeah, that's plenty smooth now. Now we can put the floating nut back on, as well as the closure nut. I think it's time for a fresh McDonald's napkin, because I'm getting coated in copious amounts of silicone grease. There we go. I'm just going to heat up this nut again to reset the thread sealant. And we can put the blind cap back on. Alright, let's see how it sits now. Damn near perfect. Man, I think I need to shave just a hair off more with that micro mesh. I can see just the barest bit of light. Ah, that's so close. Alright, let's take her apart again. The fine-tuning process is the best part, because when you're fine-tuning it, you're past the stages of irreparably breaking it. So I don't mind this part at all. Uh-oh, that was eBay. What does it say? Item shipped. Excellent. Alright, man, I will talk to you later, and I will update you on the status of your pen tonight. Oh, that's set pretty good. Might have to heat it up to get it off now. Yep. Later, my friend. There we go. Got that off. Got that off. Cool. Man. So satisfying. Such a good seal. I just want to get this blind cap sitting flush, and we will be in business. Let's see. Because generally what happens is when you put in the methyl ethyl ketone, it will melt. It basically drips out the bottom, so it melts and slightly bulges the plastic at the end of the blind cap, and that prevents the blind cap from sitting properly. So I just do trial and error, shaving off little bits with micro mesh to get it to sit flat. Let's see, what grits do we have? Oh, they're all out of order now. That's 6,000, 12,000, 8,000, 6,000, 4,000, 36, 32, 24, 18, 15. Okay. Let's start here. Gotta make sure you hold it perfectly straight up and down as you do this. It's almost flat. Just gonna go a little bit more. Alright, time to work up through the grits. Make sure it's still flat after each and every one. Bump to the camera with my head. Good job. Alright, that is glossy and flat. Alright. It's time. Time to, almost forgot, I just want to repack this with a bit more silicone grease, because every time I take the plunger out, it'll push a bit of that grease out of there. So I'll just shove a bit more in there, wipe off the excess, grab my, here it is, a little bit of grease, shove it on through. Just lube this whole thing back up. In case you didn't know, silicone grease, one of the greatest things you can give to a Schaefer vacuum filler. It's recommended that about every 6 to 12 months you put a bit of silicone grease on the plunger rod and just work it a few times. Keep things traveling smoothly. That should be good. All right. this into there again. Grab my plunger rod, give it a dollop of silicone grease, and let's do this again. Nice and smooth. If it's not smooth, that means that it has a risk of chafing the rubber. I got this little tub from Anderson Pens a little over 2 years ago, I think, and I've gone through almost half of it. I use it very liberally on a lot of pens, so I mean, you get just a little bit like that and you'll be good for a very long time. Make sure that's cinched down tight. Heat it to set the thread sealant. And let's put the blind cap on. Third time's the charm. Looks damn near perfect to me. It doesn't really have any side to side to it either. Let's just work it a few times. It should be good. I honestly should have shaved off a little bit more. Probably gonna do that because it's still just hair, just a tiny bit of hair. But that could also be me not screwing the nut in all the way because I didn't. Of my existence. You can just see through it. Just barely. Just barely. I'll fix that in a minute. For now, I would like to just see how well this fits in. So this is what your completed pen will look like once I get that blind cap situated. So close, I know! I wouldn't even be able to measure that with my micrometer. I don't think I have a shim that will fit in that. So you know what that means. Time to take her apart again. We're so close, my friend. So close. So very close. Once I get this blind cap sitting flush, your pen will be done. It'll be good. Then we can focus on the others. Ah, it's so nice. And really, the others just need resacking. That's simple. That takes like 5 minutes. Vac fillers are the ones that take multiple days, if not weeks, to sort out all their issues. Blind cap. Hey, I got it off with my fingers this time. I might have to put more thread sealant on there. Because I keep taking this thing off and then wiping off whatever's on the rod. Like that. I tell you what, this is a damn good seal, because it's getting a workout today. Alright, let's do this again. To the micro mesh, let's start at the lowest grit. We're going to take some material off. I'm actually going to go ahead. I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier, but I'm gonna screw this nut in. So that I can get an accurate measurement of when we have. I'm gonna screw it in with the this thingy, so I can get an accurate measurement of what kind of clearance we'll have without putting the plunger rod back in. Hindsight says that would have been a good thing to do the past couple times. I just didn't think of it then, because I'm a doofus. That's what I do. Now I can see the kind of gap that we're playing with. So I can see exactly where and how much material I need to remove. Oops. So close. A little bit off this side. This is a lot smarter. See how I'm a genius, it just takes me a while. Just need to get it to where it's flush. I think I might have done it. Oh, so close. So close, so close. I don't want to remove too much material because I will be working up the grits and that'll remove a little bit more. I I just want to get rid of what the mech has done and leave this as close to factory specs as possible. Because it's cooler that way, you know? That looks snug. Snug as a bug in a rug. But I'm still going to do just a little bit more. Because that's how I do. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you get that extra little cinch tightening down onto it. And we can start moving up through grids. Oh, that's nice. All right, that is nice and smooth again. And that is a tight, snug fit. And I don't see any light gaps. So, theoretically, when we put it together this time, it will be perfect. Theoretically, let's test that theory. Redo our silicone grease. I'm gonna grab a new toothpick. This one's all covered in celluloid dust. Okay. And I'm going to put a small load of silicone grease on here. I'm going to poke it from the front to the back. Just clean that channel of any celluloid dust that might have gotten in there. Yep, that's nice and smooth. There we go. I think we have about done it, my friend. I just want to point out again, just the clarity on this section. It's amazing. Yeah, look at this shit. Look at how clear that is. You can see the rod inside, no problem. And then the barrel as well. Look at that. It's great. You got yourself a hell of a pen, my friend. Hell of a pen. There we go. Yeah, it's very subtle. I like it. I like it a lot. I really should have put the steel nut on here before I did that. I guess I'm a nut too. Oh no, where did I put them? I didn't put them right in front of me when I took them off, did I? Let's see. Somewhere in this cluttered workspace, there are parts. Didn't leave them in my lap, didn't leave them in my pocket. They're right in front of me and I'm just not seeing them. I should move these. I'm just gonna grab these and... Oh. Ow! They're fine. Where'd I put your parts, man? Oops. Of course, my first thought is that I dropped them on the floor, as I've been doing with everything else tonight. But they're not on the floor. Did I leave them on this desk? I know I was reaching over here several times. Oh, this is embarrassing. What in tarnation did I do with them? Time to start cleaning. Wait. I'm an idiot. They're in the bind cap. God, I'm fucking retarded. I was starting to panic. I was like, shit, I lost his parts on stream. God, I'm an idiot. This is why you shouldn't let me around nice things. There we go. Found him! I'm fucking retarded. Alright. Let's get back to it. Use the heat gun on this so I can wipe it off. Luckily there's only 3 people watching, so not many folks saw that. Alright. There we go. No, please. Don't be so cruel. The world cannot know of my incompetence. If word got out that I actually don't know what I'm doing, I'd be ruined. Alright. Now I can put the blind cap on again. I am an idiot. Stay in school, children. This is why you stay in school. So satisfying. Oh, and it fits perfectly. Well, it's a little bit off center. But it was off center before. That's fine. Now, I will screw this back into place. Finger tight. Voila! Here we have... Blind cap doesn't want to turn. There we go. My hands are sweaty from using a heat gun. Here we have a completed vacuum fill Schaefer. And I'm not going to write with it yet. I want to do a water fill before I try ink. I'm just going to let it sit right now. Let all that sealant I packed into it set. But yeah, that is a hell of a pen. It's a nice fat crest vacuum fill. Semi-flex nib. 1750 price stamp. Pre-1949, evidenced by the white dot on the blind cap. Time to move on to the next fun pens. I think I'm going to do this Touchdown Tucky. And all this baby really needs is a sack. There we go. It's already been fully cleaned. I've already replaced the O-ring in the touchdown system. It's very smooth. All it needs is a sack. So, we're going to do that. First, I'm going to take care of this. There we go. Make sure all my caps are on tight. Alright. Now then, I need to find a new box for these pens now, because I'm about to use this one. Good God. Alright. Look at this shitload of supplies that I bought. I have new silicone sacks in. I'm going to be using a silicone sack in your Marine Green Petite because they are prone to discoloring from latex sacks off-gassing. I got some size 18 sacks, some size 19 sacks, some size 20 sacks, 14 necked, more gaskets, O-rings. I'll be putting all these away later. I just opened this box just before starting the stream. 14, size 13, size 22, size 17, size 16 NT, 16, 15, snorkel point gaskets. Got a couple sets of brass shims for nib work, some more snorkel springs reproductions. Another little container of talcum powder. Ooh. They have a flyer for the 24th Ohio Pen Show. I'm going to be there this year. I should register, really. I bet I can do it online. I'd prefer to do it online. It's a lot more reliable than USPS. I'm gonna be there all 4 days. If any of you guys are going to the Ohio Pen Show, I would love to be able to say hi to you. I'm bringing down some rare Schaefers for people to check out. Independence. Good God, this is a thick invoice. Well, I ordered a lot of shit from them. Okay. I'll file that later. Unfortunately, everywhere I looked was out of size 15.5 thin sacks, so I only really have these 4 remaining, and 2 of them are too, well, 2 of them are too short for normal tuckaways. Now, these are actually too thin for the fat tuckies. So I need to look again. What size do I require? 17.5 by 1 7/8 necked. I'm sure I have some over here. have exactly 2 remaining. So we're going to use this Independence card as our cutting mat. If you want to contact them, their information's right here. Or you could just go to independence.com. They're great people. I've talked to them. Haven't met them yet. I hope they'll be at the Ohio Pen Show. That would be pretty cool. Michael and Linda, very, very pleasant to work with. Right about there. Cut it a bit long because I'm usually bad at this. Okay, this is a bad cutting mat. This is a bad cutting mat. Oh no, what have I done? That's why you cut it a bit long. There we go. It ain't the cleanest cut I've ever done, but it'll do perfectly fine. Now for the dry fit. Oops. Dry fit, because why on earth would you shellac it in place without making sure it's the right size? Yeah, the cut was a little bit off center, but it'll do. Ah, perfect. Perfect. It better be perfect because I only got one left. Alright. Time for the fun bit. Time to put shellac on the nipple. And put the sack onto the nipple. Give it a bit of a twist to make sure there's even shellac coverage, and just make sure it's on there straight. Generally for about 30 seconds after putting the sack on, you'll still be able to fine-tune it without worrying. I just want to make sure it's perfectly straight. Oh, now that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to set this aside to let it cure. And do I have a spare bag somewhere? Screw it. That can go in there. That can go on there. And this can just go over it like that. And then we'll set it aside. Now then, the petite. I'm honestly not sure. Damn it. Honestly not sure what size sack this takes. Let's measure it. 0.235. need to measure that in millimeters actually. And in millimeters, that is 5.97. So, call that 6. Size 15 sack should be about right. So, yeah, we'll use one of the... No, I said I would use silicone. 17, 14, 15. Here we go. Now the cool thing about these is they are translucent. So you can see ink inside them if you ever feel like turning that off. So at the very least we'll be removing that much because of the neck, and you know, I kind of feel like a size 16 would be better. That's because a size 16 would be better. Do they even make size 16? We've got 14, 17, 18, 18 and a half. I suppose we can see how a 17 would fit. How much ink? I really have no idea. That's a way too tight of a fit. We're going with the 15. Unfortunately, they don't make silicone sacks in every size. Like, I can measure ink capacity if you would like me to, and send that to you. Alright, so right there it's bottoming out. So we want to cut it right about there. I used to know off the top of my head how much a fat touchdown would hold, but I can't think of it right now. Now there's an important distinction here between 100% silicone sacks and fake silicone sacks. Fake silicone sacks have PVC in them, which is very bad for plastics because it off-gases dangerously. There is a very easy method of checking whether or not your sack is real PVC. Where'd I put it? I had a scrap laying here. Oh no, it's clear. Let me close up this shellac before an accident happens. I see it. I found it. So, one of these days, hang on, get some fresh wick up there. Snip the charred stuff away. Might need more fluid, actually. I've used it a few times. Come on. Wait for me. Okay. Yeah, it's bone dry. We are going to refill a lighter today. There we go. So, PVC silicone melts very easily. Now this stuff, excuse me, now that stuff did not melt. It caught fire, began smoking, did not melt. Is an important distinction. Because PVC melts and drips and makes a hell of a mess. Silicone's good. Silicone doesn't off-gas. Silicone doesn't smell like anything. Silicone is good stuff. Although a lot of people don't like using it for every pen because it's not quite as pliable as latex sacks. So in pens where there's no danger of latex off-gassing causing discoloration, most folks just usually go with the latex sacks. There's nothing wrong with it. On this one I'm going for silicone. Because marine green has been known to discolor. Same with jade and lapis and other fun colors. Let's get that fully seated. There we go. It's pretty straight. You got a nice clear sack in this pen. It's clean. It will cure now. Now I'm curious just how stiff. Come on, they were saying that the lever would be really, really stiff because of this. Because it's not as pliable, but that's easy. Alright, let's get that out of there. Here we go. So now that's going to cure. And once that's done, your pen will be ready to fill and write. Same with that pen. All we really have left is the Arnold. And that's much of the same. Now, I don't know if that one is prone to discoloring. The celluloid has already degraded slightly. So I'm thinking about a size 14 silicone sack. That is the stinky boy. I can smell it right now. Because I'd already cut this size 13 sack down. But if a 14 fits, yeah, it could do. Let's snip off the neck and see. These silicone sacks come with a neck. Let's see how that fits. It might be just about the right size. It's too small for me to get on without any assistance, which is good. I still need to reseat the nib and the feed. So I'm going to do that right now. Let's take a look. It is this stinky boy. Ah, there's where the nib. It's got a little cutout for it. So the feed should go in like that. See. Goodness, that's a tight fit. It took a while to get that stuff out. Grab the nib while I'm at it. Let's borrow you. Give it the old tap. Didn't even need the second tap. Let's figure this out. Which way do you go in again? I'm willing to believe that this section has shrunk slightly. There we go. Just had to get it past the initial first squeeze and it was fine. So now if I tap the feet out a little bit, just to where it starts getting tight, I can easily push it back in. With the nib. Oh, that's perfect. I'm a genius. Just give it a little tap. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's great. Is it smooth? Yeah, it's a little scratchy. Any misalignment? Where'd I put my loop? No, no misalignment. It's just very, very flat. I'm going to be curious to see how this one performs. I might do a little bit of tuning on it. It is a very interesting long feed too. Alright, I can put this stuff away. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that a handsome nib? Isn't that a handsome nib? It is gold plated. There's a lot of plating loss on it. Let me give you a look. There's the camera. It says signature 2 made in USA. You can see some plating loss upwards of the breather hole. There's a little bit of plating loss around the made in USA. It is a nice small nib. Alright, so that still easily fits into the barrel of the pen. Now I need to have a thonk about how deep I want this. I want it that deep. Do that. We cut it there. Ha! Look at how easy that is. Now, like I said, I don't know if this one is susceptible to latex off-gassing, but considering that it has discolored and become stinky, I think a silicone sack will do good in its future. So I'm going to just do the dry fit up. Let me actually redo that. It's easier this way. I noticed that silicone sacks, this is my first time using them, they seem to have more friction than latex sacks. They're not as easy to adjust once they're on a pen. I'm just gonna shove that in there. Work the lever. Yeah, that works. Cool. I think we should go just a little bit shorter on the sack though. These silicone sacks are really easy to cut too. I like it. Alright, it's time for... Oh, that wasn't screwed down. Oh, that could have been another pair of jeans in the trash. Alright, I think we're ready for the final fit up. So I'll paint shellac on the nipple. Put that far out of arm's reach. And away we go. Damn it. Damn it. I did it again. Doesn't want to slide on? Nope. Oh. Why do I do this to myself? Put that in there. Aha! Suck it. Let's push it up as far as we can. See how straight it is. Fairly straight. Just like that, we have a silicone sack. So I'm going to let that cure. And just like that, after spending so much time with the vac fill, we've resacked 3 pens in record time. You can throw this stuff away now. Oh man. Man, oh man. I'm feeling good. Good. I think it's time for the talcum powder. Don't want to use too little, don't want to use too much. Just get a healthy amount on there. Just dust the sack. You don't want to drown the sack in it. Just make sure there's a nice even coating on it. Make it turn into the color of graphite. It's the easiest way to put it. You can slip the shroud over it. Screw it into the barrel. And just like that, we have a completed touchdown pen. Ready to write with. Now, of course, before I do my water test, I will wait a little while longer to let that shellac set. I think we're probably good to talc this one as well. I don't know if silicone sacks require talc, but I'll do it anyway. I like to line the nib up with the lever so that when you're writing, people can see the lever and say, hey, that's one of them old lever filling fountain pens. Just kidding, they're gonna say, is that a calligraphy pen? They always do. Is that straight? Almost. Almost. Looking good. Look at that. Talcum powder helps absorb moisture that might get into the barrel of the pen, as well as keeping the rubber sack or latex sack from sticking to the J-bar. So, I don't know if silicone sacks would stick to a J-bar, but better safe than sorry. Just make sure that you're using pure talcum powder. Don't substitute for baby powder because that will melt your pens. And try not to breathe this stuff in. Just make sure that's tight in there. There we go. Is it straight with the lever? Hey, it is. Now, one thing I did notice about this is it's very stiff, but it has lead in it. I don't know if I pointed that out last time. That. We wrote there we go. So I'm going to let these pens sit for a little while. Now I've kept the box that you sent them in around just to make sure I still have your address. So I'm just going to put them in there. I'm being pinged on Discord. I'm being pinged and I have no mic. Oscar doesn't know I'm streaming. Oop. Maybe I'll join the voice chat after I'll join voice chat after I'm finished streaming. Alright. So now that we have your pens out of the way, I think I wanted to this Esterbrook pastel. Now for this I don't have to worry about a silicone sack. So I am going to use my hemostats with a very high-tech rubber band to keep them closed and try to line this J-bar up with the lever as I put it in. Let's do like this. The This is the original Esterbrook J-bar. And it is perfectly lined up. Excellent. It's so relieving. And it's not really loose. It's a little bit loose, but all of them are. So, of course, Esterbrook nib unit screws right in. What size sack do we want? We're looking at a 6.87, 6.88, call it 6.9 millimeter nipple. Size 17. Let's make sure my suspicions are correct. It's a little bit smaller. Perfect. How deep can we go? This is a nice long sack. Right about there. All right. Let's redo that one. Again, I like to do my dry fit ups just to make sure the sack fits properly before I use adhesives to hold it in there forever. So I'm just going to straighten this thing out. And that looks about right. Drop it in. Click the lever. Doesn't feel strange. The lever is still just the slightest bit loose. That's okay. Feels great, honestly. I do need to use my section pliers to get that back out, however. There we go. Now we can shellac this. Now, theoretically, that tiny little bottle of shellac should be enough to last you a lifetime of resacking pens. Shit. However, I have a nasty habit of spilling my bottles of shellac. This thing don't want to stay on there. There we go. It don't want to stay on there. It's trying to slide off. Listen here, you little bitch. Yeah, it's trying to slide off. He doesn't like that I've been using silicone. There we go. Now that the shellac is starting to thicken and set, it's staying in place. Mostly. Probably because this is a hard rubber section. At least I believe it is. It feels like one. It smells like one. Alright. I was going to say something else, but I don't remember what. I got distracted by this sack. Out of context, it is an amazing statement. I agree. Ooh, my back is killing me. I'll talk that in a few minutes, once I'm sure it's set. I can put my lighter fluid away. That counts as being put away. This thing, I don't know what to do with it. Sacking it is going to be a bitch, because the feed pokes out further than the section, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. I kind of want to take a look at this Eversharp Skyline. It's a flexible nib. I'm really excited about it. It'll be my second Flex Skyline. And I can just about remove the section with finger strength, but not quite. I can get started. Want to be really careful with these because it's really easy to crack the barrels. Very, very brittle plastic. Now, strangely, when this one came to me, it was sans sack and breather tube, so I've got some spare breather tubing that I like to use if I don't have the original Ebonite breather tube. So this thing's just about clean on the inside. The nib, however, is gonna get a dunk. And that's gonna soak for a while. The cap I would like to take apart. First, I'm going to take care of some inky threads. Because these threads are packed with old ink. I don't want to just soak this barrel, because then I'd have to remove the lever, and I don't really feel like doing that. Because I don't want the J-bar to rust. That would be horrible. They are one of a kind. They're very unique J-bars. They use 3 different styles, and this one is... Let me take a look at it. This one is one of the more annoying ones to replace because the lever is attached to the J-bar. So, these threads are just about clean. Clean enough. this cap I would like to take apart. And before I do that, I'm going to take some regular old Scotch tape and I'm going to slide the Scotch tape underneath the clip so that as I remove the clip does not dig into the side of the cap, because that's something that does happen. And then you have unsightly marks in your cap. I'll show you what that looks like here in a minute. There we go. It's that simple. I could take it apart further, but there's no need to. Actually, is that rust? That's pretty grody. Doesn't smell like rust. I think it's just dirt. I think it's just dirty. It's fine. That's the underside of the clip. Nobody gives a fuck. Let me think. Is this closed tight? Good. Is it this drawer? Is it this drawer? Nope. Is it this one? Nope. How about this one? Aha! This Skyline, I believe, has marks in the cap. Nope. What about... does this one? Yeah, this one does. It's got a couple flea bites. So if we look here, you can see a couple little flea bites there. Those are from someone, not me actually, trying to remove the cap, clip, without protecting the plastic cap. And it digs into the side and takes out little chunks like that. And nobody's happy. So, take that off. Now then, this is, aside from the cap band, this is all one piece, and it is packed with ink. So what I'm going to do is just drop it in the water. There's a lot of ink coming out of that. Just drop it in there. I don't want to leave that in there too long because it's celluloid, and celluloid is porous and over time will absorb ink colors. So what I'm going to do is stir it gently with a chopstick and try to get the main buildup of ink out of there. The water has already turned black. And now I'm going to take it out. And put it in a clean glass of water. Alright, this one will be the nib cup. And this one will be the celluloid cup. Now, do I want to take that apart? I don't know. Seems like it's a lot more trouble than it's worth. Why am I taking it apart? Because it's inky, of course. Because it's inky and I want my pens to be squeaky clean. There we go. That's how you take a cap apart in 15 seconds. So I'm gonna rinse this one in the inky cup. See how inky it is. Still pretty inky. There we go. Much better. I'll let that soak in there now. Now then, let's look at these. Okay. Man, that is pretty bad, isn't it? I guess that is rust. Let's see. Yeah, that's steel. That's got to be rust then. I will soak this in my rust soak then, which I'm about to go get. I suppose it's a good thing I decided to be OCD then. Because this is going straight into the rust soak. Now then. The other two Eversharp pieces are in good shape. This one could use a bit of a touch-up from the sunshine cloth. Much better. Not quite there yet. Almost there. Much better. Much better. All right. So that pen will be cleaning. This is that's all I have left of it. Behold the Eversharp Skyline. Where are my bags at? I've got them around here somewhere. Alright. Shitload of 2x5 bags. parts of it soaking in 3 different cups. I think I can put the talc on this sack now. Bang on. All right. Our educational sample is done. So I will put that up here. Now then, here is a Schaefer Triumph set. Got off eBay. I'd like to try and see if I can take it apart tonight. It's in pretty rough shape. It could use liberal application of a sunshine cloth. Both the pen and the pencil are personalized HJS. I'll probably end up selling these because I typically don't collect personalized pens. Pencil doesn't have any lead in it. Very firm Triumph nib. And the plunger rod is frozen. That's as far as it'll go. So, I'm thinking I'll start with the heat gun today. See if I can remove this nib. I have a Schaefer Triumph, very similar to this one, already on the workbench. I can cannibalize for any parts I might need. Alright, let's see how that wants to come off. Not at all. That's fine. This is only our first attempt. This doesn't work. I'll just let it soak for a while. Soaking helps too. This one definitely has thread sealant. I believe I might have gotten it started there, but need more heat. I don't mind using the heat gun tonight. It was almost chilly out today. I think it was 65 for most of the day. Great t-shirt weather, I gotta say. Try this one. Also, the barrel exhibits quite nice clarity. Woohoo, I'm getting it. It's starting to give. I see a little bit of a gap between the gold nib and the black celluloid section now. More heat. There we go. Just like that, we have gotten the nib unit out. Now I can take a look at that frozen plunger. Oops, set the heat gun aside. Let's take a look. See if we can chip that apart with our dental picks. I got one right here. I have successfully unfrozen the plunger. It is the very simple no nut plunger. So there's no nut on the blind cap, it just unscrews. Slowly but surely. It's very tight. There we go. Now then. Just like that, we tap out the plunger rod, and you can see the mangled remains of the old O-ring. And by O-ring, as I so often mistakenly call it, I mean plunger gasket. Look at that, it's got old ink sheening on it. We're going to be replacing that gasket right there, between the stopper and the nut. But we'll be replacing that at a later date. The name of the game tonight is drilling out the old packing. Ooh, that's tight. They might have used sealant on that one. The bastards. How dare they make my life more difficult, don't they know? Can't believe it. The nerve. The nerve of them. How could they? How dare they? The old plunger gasket is actually attached to the nut, which I have now dropped. Why do we do this? Here it is. Now, taking these things apart is always fun. There we go. Wow, it came off of one piece. It's amazing. Now then, I'm going to go ahead and throw the plunger rod, the nut, and the stopper into our inky water. Let those soak a little bit. I might as well throw the Triumph nib in there too. I will set the cap and the wine cap aside. Now it's time to take a look at the innards of the barrel. No cracking that I can see. No cracking on the exterior, which I haven't even looked at this stuff yet. The cap looks might be the beginnings of a stress fracture right there. Hard to say. I think that's just a scratch actually. Yeah, it's just a scratch. Alright. Here's that one. And here's this one. Time to get started. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a good long post about your pens. Later tonight, after the stream, I'm going to set up my light box, take detailed pictures, and do my thing. I'm happy that you guys enjoy it. By the way, go ahead and post your Instagram here so that I know which account to tag. It's coming along nicely. I think the O-ring has started spinning freely, so I'm going to try picking it out. Not with you. This one should do nicely. Of course, just let me know if you'd like me to not tag your Instagram account. Ain't nothing wrong with shit posting, dude. I have been known to partake from time to time. Mm-hmm. I will tag it. That one sounded like it did something.
No, it did not. Damn it.
Best case scenario is either it's very pliable still, or it's stuck to the walls of the pen. When it's very hard, but also rotates freely, that's when it's most annoying. I wonder if I could tap out the packing unit. Nope. Let's see. Let's see if that did anything. Kinda. Vac fillers are so nice. I love vac fillers, man. Don't have to worry about sacks. They hold a lot of ink. They're easy to clean. Vac fillers are the way of the past and the way of the future. But God, are they annoying to fix. Holy shit, it's almost 11 o'clock. I've been streaming for 3 hours? Doesn't feel like it. This O-ring's annoying me. Washer. Why do I always call them O-rings? What's wrong with me? I might have been dropped on my head as a small child. Alright, let's do one of these. Change the angle of that hook slightly. There we go. I have yet to meet a vac filler that can defeat me. They all eventually acknowledge my greatness. You can tell they had a sort of a bluish green ink in this one. Bit by bit, I'm getting her out. Bit by bit. Oh boy, any day now. Any week. Oh man, I meant to go to the Northville Watchmaker today. I still have to drop off my Schaefer watch for service. I'll do that next week. Yeah, that was a chunk of rubber that came up. And a chunk of felt. I think I'm finally getting somewhere. I think I'm getting somewhere. I'm getting somewhere, I can tell you that much. Ooh, there's a big chunk of felt that came out. Another big chunk. Let's take another look. I'm getting there eventually. Damn, this is ugly work. This kind of reminds me of that one. It was also a golden pearl vac filler. Took like a week to pick out all the packing materials. That was fun. I had fun. We'll call it fun. Now the funny part here is I picked out just about all the felt O-rings and or felt washers, but I still have the rubber washer in there. I'm sure this is terribly exciting to watch. How many people are still around? Still 3? Yeah, I'm impressed. I might have done it. Might have done it. Let's look at what kind of damage that did. Ooh. Oh boy. That's almost all. Hello, Matt. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna be the Vacfill guy. After Jerry Berg, of course, because he knows what he's doing more than I do. Alright, just for giggles. Just for giggles. Let's take my new repeater Parker 51 pencil. This thing's a little bit finicky to get the right lead length that you want. Just gonna mark that right there. See if this is actually turning. Nope. Come on. Come on. Come on, you son of a bitch. Okay, you don't want to do it. Vacuum fillers are amazing, nice, excellent pens. They can, however, be annoying. I'm so close. So very, very close. So close. I don't think there's any felt left in there. grip. Oh yeah, and I have an empty number 5 bag. And it does not want to turn. It's biting into something. I think vacuum fillers are becoming the meme. Ooh, ooh, that feels like it's cutting. That feels like celluloid. Ooh, let's find out. I have reached celluloid. It's such a mess in there. And still, there's hard rubber that's supposed to be soft rubber, but it's not. Hanging on, because that fucking O-ring is still there. The washer. Look, at this point, I'd say screw it, it's earned its ride. Matt, please. I'm gonna charge you more. Charge you $100 a pop. You can just send them to Jerry. I think that's about as clean as I can get it. Take a look at the transparency. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I think that's about as clean as I can get it. Matt, please. You wouldn't do that. Not to me. I'm your buddy. I'm your pal. I'm Val. Come on. You like me. We make bad puns together. Time for this to go in the final cleaning glass. I would send it right back. I would send it right the fuck back. Screw that. Where's the syringe at? Alright, that's pretty clean. I would smash it with a hammer. Yeah. Alright, what else have I got? I'm just gonna throw this shit in here. Hold on. What else do I have in here? I have these bad pens that 8Ball sent me. Bad pens. Horrible. Look at that. Hooded nib. Unacceptable. I actually traded a keyboard for these. Got this nice white Lady Schaefer script cert. Still has medium marking on it. It's cartridge converter. It came with an empty cartridge. I'm just gonna let that. I kind of do want to take it apart because the clutch ring rotates freely. So last time I tried this, I melted a pen, so I'm gonna have to be more careful. I also have better grippers now. Because I used thread sealant. I'll be happy some bitch if I get this apart. I'm not gonna try and do it all tonight, if I can. Because I don't want to force anything. Yeah, things happen when you force things. Oh, don't think it's warm enough for a first try even. How about that? Yeah, that'll do. That'll do for a first try. Absolutely nothing. More heat. Let's give it another go, shall we? Probably be easier if I did it like this. I say, indeed. I think we can heat it more. It's still got a ways to go before I reach critical temperature. Taking off these, I'm not even sure what I would call them. I guess I'll call them the nipple. The threaded nipple. Removing the threaded nipple can be tricky. Can be annoying. It is annoying, you know? In this case, I think it's a lost cause. So I definitely don't want to force this. Oh shit. I think I got it. Aha! Look at that. Okay, we're back in business. times. Also make cleaning it that much easier. Alright, so that can go there, that can go there. This is what it looks like. It has a collector on the feed. Check it out. And a white O-ring there. I don't know if I should replace that. It seems to be fine. I'm probably just not going to touch it. I am getting hungry. I wonder if the nib's removable. It looks threaded. I'm not going to try. Screw it. I'm just going to put this stuff in here to soak. I'm going to put that one in that cup. And this stuff can, I don't know. I'll just grab a new bag for it. Eat pens for sustenance. Radio. Alright. I got these a little while ago. I haven't really looked at them. Unfortunately, this one's cap is slightly loose, but it has a Schaefer squeeze converter, and I wanted to look at it. See if it might need the sack being replaced. It is a pretty, I don't know. The sack is fairly pliable. But it feels like it should be more pliable. That might be rust. Hard to say. Hard to say. I will drop this nib into the nib soaking glass. And while we're at it, we will look at an identical pen, except this one has the button converter. And this one's really good. This one probably only needs to be rinsed. Well, I'll drop the nib in that one as well. What other cartridge pens? There's this gaudy Waterman Lady Patricia disco pen. I'm gonna drop it in to soak. Schaefer 550 cartridge pen. Gonna drop it into soak. Drop it in this one. This Schaefer, I believe, is ready for resacking. It's pretty smooth. Yeah, it needs a sack. This one's already been cleaned. Forgot all about him. What kind of sack will you take, my friend? They're saying 15 by 2 1/8 necked. I don't have any of those. Let's see if Independence does. Nope. Anderson, perhaps. Nope. I guess I'll just go for... We'll see how a size 15 does. Actually, that's not prone to discoloring, is it? You don't have to worry about that one. Okay, latex it is. Let's see. Perhaps a size 16. Let's see how this one fits. No, size 15 it is. Time for the dry fit. Feels about right. I'd say we're ready for the shellac. Do this without spilling it all over myself, ideally. Too much shellac. I don't know why they wanted a 15 by 2 1/8 tapered necked. Size 15 looks like it fits just about perfectly. Crazy bumpkins. What else do I have in this box? I have a few pencils, I have that 45, and I have this thing. And this thing really just, its clutch ring is loose as well. So I'm going to take that cartridge off of there. And honestly, this thing, you're right, it's okay. But that clutch ring is spinning. So, we're gonna solve that. Alrighty. Oh god, it's almost been 4 hours. Holy shit. I should be getting ready for bed myself. I need to be up early tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in, and thanks for sticking around. It's pretty incredible that you stuck around that long. Good night, my friend. You can expect your pens soon. Good night. And soon good morning. We'll get this off if it kills me. And even then, I will continue trying. It doesn't want to. Too bad. You don't have a choice in the matter, sir. This thing's really resilient. Things are always a pain in the butt to get off, I swear. But you don't want to heat them up too much, because then they start warping. It is heat reactive plastic. Ooh, that sounded like eBay. Man. Just don't want to go. Bring it back up to temperature then. Try again. So, Matt, what have you been up to today? Anything exciting?
Please, please. I beg you.
Maybe I will just try again tomorrow. Because I don't want to go. Alright, this section has defeated me tonight. I will soak it. After I soak my hands. Okay. We just passed 4 hours live. With 3 hours 55 being recorded, because I went live about 5 minutes before the stream began. So, I'm going to call it there. It's been an eventful night. There's still one dude watching. Whoever it is, I applaud you. I hope you have a good night. I'm going to bed. Fairly well.